Alright folks, I welcome you all to Wordplay, a fun way to learn new words. So the topic for today's video is how you can use mnemonic devices to help you improve your vocabulary easily and quickly. Now, mnemonic devices are an aid to your memory. Mnemonics are memory aids. It is a technique that can help you improve your vocabulary and remember words for longer durations of time. So it is not a vocabulary technique. Let me clarify that it is a memory technique to help you remember the words for longer durations of time. Now in this video, I'll show you how you can make your own mnemonics just the way I do it to remember words, new words, quickly and for long. So as I've already shown you in my previous video on how to improve your vocabulary, that I'm using OneNote as a tool to store my words, and in many of these words I try to link them with a previously known mnemonic, which basically makes it easier to remember new words. Now let me show you my list of new words which I have saved in the vocabulary section of my OneNote notebook. So these are the new words. So first of all, you have to consider a new word, revel for instance. What is the first thing that comes into your mind when you hear the word revel? The first thing that comes into my mind is rebel, because it sounds similar to the word revel, so it must be somehow related to the word rebel, although that is not true. But we have to connect the word rebel to the first word that comes into our mind, which in my case is the word rebel. So let me see what the meaning of the word rebel is. Revel means rejoice. So to remember the word revel, you must already know the meaning of the word that first came into your mind. Now, rebel means a person who rises in opposition or resistance against a leader or an authority. Now, to remember the word rebel, you can imagine a group of rebels rejoicing on overthrowing an established government. So these are a bunch of rebels, they are all shouting and they are reveling. So the imagery of reveling, rebels, is what will help you remember the word revel for long. Consider another word, for example, glean. So the first word that comes into my mind when I hear the word glean is lean. I have not heard the word glean before. So I'll link it to the word lean, which I already know. Lean means to bend or basically move in a sloping position, I would say. So let's check out the meaning of the word glean here. So glean means gather. Now I can connect it with the word lean, and I can imagine a group of farmers who are leaning to pluck in the crops and collect it in their basket which they are carrying. So a group of farmers are leaning in to glean the crops for selling them in the market. So in this way, the word glean has been connected to the word lean, which you already know, and it is a better way to learn new words, I would say. Another word, lionize. The first word that comes into my mind when I hear the word lionize is definitely lion. We all know who lion is, the king of the jungle. So first check out the meaning of the word lionize. So lionize means celebrate. So you can imagine a bunch of lions after they've hunted the deers, and now they have all the food with them and they are celebrating their victory. They are lionizing. You can imagine a bunch of lions all partying and celebrating their victory. Lionizing lions. See how simple it makes the process of learning new words, which otherwise would have been very hectic and complicated, and you would have to rely upon repetition and rote learning. So learning in this way makes it easier for new words to be retained in your memory. Now let's check out another word, desiccated. Now, no particular word comes into my mind when I'm hearing the word desiccated. Literally no word comes into my mind. So I can just check out the meaning of the word and see what I can do about it. Now, desiccated means lacking vitality. Desiccated means someone that lacks life, lacking vitality. So I can connect it to the word dead, which I've already written here, because desiccated, the first two letters, DE, it can remind me of the word dead. Dead means lacking life, lacking vitality. However, that literally does not mean lacking vitality, because dead is just someone who has lost life, and desiccated means lacking vitality. However, we just need to connect it to a similar word so that it's basically a key, I would say. It's easier to search for a bunch of keys if you have a key ring with you. These memory aids or mnemonics just serve as key rings, I would say, to your memory to help you remember them better and nothing more. Banshee, for instance, I do not have a predetermined image of this word, so let's see what this means. Banshee is a female spirit whose wailing points to a death in the house. Now for this word, for me, no particular word comes into my mind, and there will be a lot of words for which you do not know how to create a mnemonic for. So for these words also, it's not a big deal. Banshee clearly states that it is a female spirit whose wailing points to a death in the house. So you can just imagine a dark house and an evil spirit wailing, and you can imagine the scenario to be as scary and as horrendous as possible, such that whenever you hear the word Banshee, this particular imagery comes into your mind. So it's not necessary that you have to link a word to a word you already know. If the imagery or visualization helps you remember the word, that too is a pretty good way to help you remember your word in a better way, because the fact is that our brains think in images and not words. So in this particular aspect, this type of visualization would be very helpful in remembering new words. Let's consider hammock. You can imagine the word hammer and somehow connect it to the word hammock. But first let me check out what the meaning of the word hammock is. So hammock is a bed made of canvas and suspended between two trees by cords at both ends. This is the bed that you see people sleeping in beachside. So for me, this particular imagery and connecting it to the word hammock helps. But if you wish to link it to the word hammer or any other word that first comes into your mind, it will make it all the more easier. So if you wish to connect to the word hammer, you can imagine that you are sleeping in your hammock and a bunch of people, bad people, they come to you and they just start hammering the tree. They start trying to cut the tree, but they do not have an axe, they have a hammer. So it's very important, actually, I would say, to link the word to a visualization or a memory aid, a mnemonic that is emotion evoking in some way. You can think of a mnemonic or a visualization as absurd as possible, because the more silly the visualization, the easier it will be to remember it, because it evokes some sort of emotion in you. So emotions play a very important role in creating a better memory. These simple techniques are what memory masters have been using throughout their lifetimes. So these are tried and tested, and I use them. I use all these techniques to learn new words, and I'm also learning Japanese these days, and all these words, they make no sense to me because it is a new language, but I make silly, funny, absurd connections to words in my own language that help me remember these words quickly and easily, and I perform better than most of my peers with lesser effort than they put into. So thank you. If you like this video, please subscribe to this channel and hit the like button, because I'll be posting more free tips and tricks on how you can improve your vocabulary and remember the words for longer periods of time. Here you go. Goodbye.